Good
What's up?
evening. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. It's Wednesday.
Happy
It's
Wednesday.
nice
Happy
out.
Hump Day.
Hump day.
And apparently, it is also National Unicorn Day. Shout out to Third Patriot.
I see that.
That was hilarious. I was like, this is ridiculous. This guy's got to be making it up. But then, lo and behold, boom. Today, April 9th, is National Unicorn Day, a whimsical celebration of the mythical horse-like creature with a single spiraled horn. It's a day to embrace imagination and the magic of the unicorn, rather that through art, literature, or simply enjoying the day's festivities. We don't have to look at the rest of it. We get it. It celebrates the mythical horse-like creature with a single spiraled horn. But I thought that was crazy. Come on, guys. How many holidays do we need? You know? When is National Oompa Loompa Day?
I bet there is one. I bet it wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Oompa Loompa Day. Let's see. I have to know. Now that you said that, I have to know. How's everybody else doing? Every year on October 12th.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I told you.
All right, so everybody, we're gonna have to make sure that we remember to celebrate that one. We'll be like Happy National Oompa Loompa Day on October 12th. And then, hopefully you all and your families and we'll keep it on alive as a tradition for the rest of, humanity.
There we go.
No, we know.
How about that pump?
That's exciting. The first I was
Yep.
hearing about it was when you said it to me. So I was excited about that. I was like, okay, cool. Maybe positive things are happening. I've just been, with a sledgehammer bent over all day long. So I didn't have time to see anything about anything, to be honest.
Yeah, it's I think it's going to be short-lived. I think it's a bull trap.
Yeah. Seems to
So-
be a lot of those.
And it pumps so hard that it's definitely going to come back down. It's at least going to retrace a little bit. Everything gapped to 21 so hard on like the hourly and the 2 hourly. And so we're definitely going to get a retrace, but we will look into that later in the show.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. And then, so, we've been, or I guess I've been a little bit faster with the shows here lately. And the reason is I hurt a lot. I can't say, I said this before, but hard manual labor that is very heavy is really great for someone else to do. And Desert said it best, right? When I was first telling him about what I was doing and how labor intensive it was, I said, it's not going to be that bad. I've been working out a little bit. So, I'm over the sore part. So it can't be like that bad. Okay. Well, Desert said, look, you're working out. You got over the sore part of working out. You're doing good. But you didn't work out those muscles.
That's right.
And that's what I learned. I worked out, but I didn't work out those muscles. And so I'm
Working out is totally different. I mean, hitting fixed weights or even free weights and stuff like that are totally different than being benched over using stabilizer muscles that haven't been worked in 20 years. Yeah. It's
probably 30 years,
big
actually,
difference.
I believe. 30 years.
Huh?
30 years. They haven't been worked in my life, 30 years.
30 years ever.
Yeah, ever. Since the beginning. It's never happened. But all right.
Yeah.
So we got that going on. I just feel like I keep wanting to say, tariffs. Am I right? Because
Right.
that's the only thing everybody's talking about. It's the only thing it's in the news cycle. It's pretty crazy. But the positive news in the market, we always say that crypto reacts first. The stock market
Right.
and traditional markets, they lag or they're recovery time is longer. It takes a lot more time for them to respond to real life events and things that are happening in the macroeconomic landscape. And then in crypto, it's very emotional, but it's volatile because at the drop of a hat, anybody can get in and out of a position.
That's right.
And there's not any barriers. So
that's right. We've seen some big pumps out of the stock market today too, but not like we did out of crypto. The whole market's up. The whole market cap is up.
Are we back,
back
up to 3
about
trillion?
2.7. No, about
2.7 is almost 3. Almost 3.
It's almost 3. It is almost 3.
Yeah, we said this before. I say this almost every night now. Once it got under 3 trillion, that shocked me. That was what shook me. I didn't think we would get under 3 trillion during this market cycle, but it is obvious that this market is unlike any other market, and the level of economic turmoil. That's how I'm going to say it, because a lot of people are saying we're in a recession. A lot of people believe that Trump is intentionally crashing the market to get easing, and then with a grander scheme of basically creating a perfect storm for other countries to start investing a lot more heavily in the U.S. By bringing price down to where it's appetizing and it's less risky for bigger entities to invest. And it's interesting. I think either way, we're going to see what's going to happen. But the market is definitely volatile.
Let's see.
To say the least. But with that, let's check out what's going on in the market. So, Desert, could you please refresh the room the beautiful, eloquent way you do every time?
And before we get into that, everybody do us a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and notification bell. If you are on X, tag some DGens, give us a repost. We go live Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. PST, bringing you the daily news nightly. And if everybody shared this, I mean, we would have at least twice as many viewers, right? So
that's right. All right, let's see what's going on with the markets.
I think I barely got it in there, but let's get the freshest data. Boom. So we are up 5.9% today. Massive move for the market at 2.7 trillion. Even the volumes coming in at 207 billion. Bitcoin dominance at 60.4, Ethereum at 7.33, but still less than a Gwei to send each transaction. Excuse me. Bitcoin with a massive pump up 8.3% today, coming in at 82,329. We got Ethereum at 1645 up 12.9. XRP back to 203 up 14.7. BNB at 578 up 5.3. Solana up 12.9 at 117. We got Doge at 1584 up 12.8. Tron at 2383 up 4.2. And there we go. You know it, you love it. Cardano up 12.9%, coming in at 62.34. Let's take a look at SWE. SWE's back in the top 20, coming in at 220, up 15.3%. And look at all these gainers. Look at all these double digits. Avalanche up 14, Hedera up 16. You know what? I did not realize. Wow, I must just scan right past it every time. I did not realize that HBAR had made it into the top 20. It's not a coin I look at.
I didn't either. It's not a coin that I look at either, but it's definitely one that I believe in. I think it's just not one I get excited about. I believe the team, the tech, I think there's a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of there. But just doesn't get me worked up, right? Sui gets me worked up.
And I'm looking, and it is
Chainlink gets me worked
it's
up.
held the strongest in the top 20 over the past week, up 3.4. The only other one in the positive is Tron. Where'd it go? Tron up 1.1. So that's The only thing I really don't like about HBAR is I don't like, so it's governed by a council, right? And the council is just a bunch of tech giants, you know? So it's like Microsoft, Google, freaking,
You're worried
I
about
don't
the
know.
technocracy?
Yeah, it's just a huge technocracy that governs like the whole chain, if I'm not mistaken. That's the only thing I really don't dig about it. I believe it's a DAG, right? It's
I believe.
decentralized. I can't remember what a DAG stands for. Decentralized something. I don't know. But let's look at the biggest gainers. Fartcoin, holy shnikes, up 51%, up 75 on the 7-day. Flare up 30.
Directed
Rondo up 24.
Okay, directed a cyclic graph.
There we go. That's
So
exactly what
we
I
wouldn't.
said.
Neither one of us would have guessed it.
What are you talking about? That's exactly
you were
what I
thinking.
said, bro.
Okay. You're right. But basically, it's a data structure often used as an alternative to blockchains that records
Right.
transactions in a network of interconnected nodes, offering potential benefits like increased scalability and faster transaction speed. So it's almost like a fake blockchain.
I think it's represented more like a net.
Yes, where
like
the
that, right?
information is recorded on other nodes, but it's not necessarily a blockchain where there's like just one stream of how information
One
right
like
goes.
validators.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, still looking at the biggest gainer, Sonic 24%. Render to look at all these, not just double digits, but like high double digits. Look at that. It is a sea of green. I am willing to bet that the biggest losers today are going to be stable coins. Boom. Stable coin, USDT, USDT, all stable coins. Look at that. All of it. Everything. Until you get to fast token. So everything from here up is all stable coins. Then you got fast token, and then you got a bunch more stable coins. That is crazy. Let's look at TradFi real quick. Let's look at the pre-market. So pre-market, Dow is up 170 points. S&P's up 4.75. The NASDAQ has turned. It was up just a little bit ago. So the NASDAQ turned, oil and the 10-year are down. We closed today. Look at that VIX. The VIX dropped 35%. So if you guys don't know what the VIX is, we've talked about it before. I would say the closest thing would be it's the fear and greed indicator for the stock market, but it's actually not fear and greed. It's a volatility index, basically. So as the price drops, traders become more comfortable. They see less volatility. They become more comfortable with the market conditions. When the price is raised, when it goes up, that means traders are getting scared because they feel the market is too volatile. So it just measures the emotions essentially of the trading market. And it's down 35% today. That's massive. But it's still high, coming in at about 33.62. When we used to track this, so when we used to go into CNBC every night, earlier when we started the channel, this was down in like the 20s. So we're still way up there. We're in the 30s. So the market is still scared, but it did come down quite a bit. Big pump on the day though. 3K for the Dow Jones, 474 for S&P, 1,800 for NASDAQ, and even the Russell Index is up 152. Let's see what Asia's doing. Boom. So we got the Australian index is up 386. The Nikkei's up 2,700. And India, which was up earlier, wasn't that up earlier when we checked, John? Is now down 0.6. So I am really curious to see So Shanghai was showing
You're not
earlier.
sharing it.
Now it's not.
You
I
are
wonder
not
if they hit a
sharing it.
ticket breaker. Huh?
You're not sharing the screen.
Oh,
You're just looking at it.
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm not going to go through that whole spiel again, but boom. There's pre-market. There's Asia. And I could have swore Shanghai was showing earlier. And according to this, it says it was last updated at 9:01 a.m. And that's China time zone or whatever. Hong Kong hasn't opened yet. That's still showing yesterday. And then this was today. This is what I was talking about on the VIX right here. So we're down 35%, but this number is usually in like the 20s. I bet we can click on it. Let's see here. So yeah, see, it's usually down here under 20. But of course, I wonder what happened here. Did Trump start talking about tariffs? So April 1st, remember tariffs went into play on April 2nd. Well, April 1st, the VIX shot from 21 and some change all the way up to 52, and we are coming back down to 33. Don't get your hopes up. I don't see that dropping down to 20 anytime soon. And I think this is actually in the area where he started talking about tariffs in like mid-March. Started talking about the reciprocal tariffs and all that stuff. So, but that is what I see in the market. We'll look at some other things when we get into the chart section. But for now, it's all about those headlines. 33 is an Illuminati number. Isn't that a Third Patriot? Isn't that also the highest order of Freemason? 33, I believe.
Huh. Do you know, I wanted to be a Freemason for a while. I have some family that does that, and it's interesting. There's definitely some benefits, some tax benefits even. But let's get into a message from our sponsors. Join us at Rare Evo, the top blockchain conference, August 6th through 10th, 2025, at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. The top blockchain projects like Algorand, Midnight, HBAR, ICP, Thorchain, and Igon, and many more are going to be there. This is definitely a must for blockchain enthusiasts and fans. Use discount code CryptoNightly to save on your tickets and to support the channel. Don't miss it. We can't wait to see you there. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, my buddy's dad was a Freemason, and when he died and we were cleaning out his room, we found he never really talked about it, but we found all kinds of stuff. I can't remember what level he was, but yeah, he had a whole bunch of, it was like kind of a shock. Like, wow, this dude was pretty freaking involved, huh?
He actually was. Like we thought he was, but he was. It's like when somebody says, that they, work for intelligence or something, just pushing stuff like desk paperwork, and then you find out that actually like there's a little more going on. But
they weren't the janitor at the intelligence firm.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And so this was big. Breaking: Canada agrees to negotiate new trade deal with the US. So something is working, I guess. Which this is pretty positive news. We've been really concerned about this as they are our neighbor, right? And whoever's leading Canada, I can't remember because I'm pretty sure it's not Trudeau. I think it's just some other guy.
It's I think his name is Clayton. Clayton,
yeah,
or
like I said, some other guy. Yeah. So some other guy's running Canada right now, and he was saying he's not going to negotiate with America. He said we need other friends. We don't even like America. Basically what he said we used to back before, but now we're not friends anymore. And it's sad. That's what he said. And then he dropped the mic. Turns out he's back at the table. Then this is really big news right here. Just in, you can now send and receive ADA using just a Google account. No seed phrases required. Thanks to ZK Fold's new smart wallet, any Gmail addresses can act as a self-custody Cardano wallet. And this is big because I have been screaming ever since I made a wallet with Sui It was so easy. I went in there. It said log in with Google, like authenticate with Google, and I said
Right.
yes. And then my wallet was made. I didn't have to look at my seed phrase. For people that are not in this space, a seed phrase is really scary. It's really confusing. It's hard to understand how to use it, what it's used for, and it's just intimidating, right? It's intimidating. I have a book that is full of different seed phrases for different blockchains, right? For different wallets that I have all over the place. Imagine if I didn't need that book and I still have the same security, you know?
And this is the type of thing. So this is, I believe, account abstraction, what Aaron's always talking about.
Yep.
So this is the type of thing that the trading bot will be using for the DEXs. So you'll set up a wallet, but it'll just be a Gmail. You won't need a seed phrase. You won't need nothing. And it'll still be self-custody. You can withdraw at any time. So it's definitely, and it's funny to think that Wax had this 4 years ago. Because when I was playing around in the Wax ecosystem, that's how it was. You signed in with your Gmail account, boom, and you traded NFTs and all them, rugs, or I won't call them rugs, but all those NFTs that BitBoy and them were putting out, so.
Yep. We won't call them rugs. But anyways, I love this post from Viva. He's always making comments about what's going on. This is where I saw this, but China is dumping a ton of US treasuries this morning. The 5D chests you think people are playing. This backs the United States into a corner because we need to refinance trillions in national debts this quarter. And we're literally trying to collapse markets to force rate cuts, lower yields. So this seems to be, we've got a whole bunch of trade wars going on internationally. And so Trump's trying to do some things. China is trying to do some other things. I think that no matter what, this short-term volatility is going to relax. I think just like Canada, everybody's going to come to the table, and then there will be something that comes of it because the U.S.'s GDP is massive, and a lot of these countries depend on the income that comes from business with us. So
70 countries have already reached out, either to DHS or the IRS or whatever other government agency. 70 countries have already reached out, and that's why Trump has put the 90-day moratorium on. Not only has he put a 90-day pause on, I don't know exactly how this works, but he put a 90-day pause on the tariffs for countries that have reached out. He has also reduced, so maybe it's 90-day pause on reciprocal tariffs, but he has also reduced some tariffs down to like a menial 10% for 90 days. So
that means I might still be able to get my Temu order in, Third Patriot.
No, not China.
China's
120. No, China, he put his foot on the gas. China's 125% now because they hit us with that 84% retaliatory tariff after we hit them with whatever, and then they hit us with 35, and then we hit them with 104, then they hit us with 84, and then now we hit them with 125. And
we need to have a business. We need to have a business where all we do is set up base in another country that has nominal tariffs, and then we buy all the things from China, and then we send them back to the U.S. to the people, but from that other country, and then we make everything in the middle. We become trillionaires overnight.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't think it works like that. It's not where it came from. It's like where it was manufactured.
We'll just change the labels. We'll put our label on it.
There we go. And what is Third Patriot saying here?
Let's see.
I thought BRICS was going to dump treasuries to collapse the dollar. They ain't got the balls.
China did it first. So the UK, we'll see what happens. If everybody jumped on that train, it would be a rough situation, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. This was also pretty big. Paul Atkins, we know he's crypto positive. got confirmed to be the next chair of the SEC. So bye-bye, Gary Gensler. Hello, Paul Atkins.
Bitcoin bull.
Yeah. Bitcoin bull. And then I got this article because Desert loves these kind of articles, and I like to make this the first thing that we talk about. So 21 shares files for their spot Dogecoin ETF in the US. Desert loves when ETFs are made around serious cryptocurrency dog coins. Would you look at that dog face right there? Wow. That needs an ETF.
One of the ugliest Shiba I've ever seen, bro. Oh my goodness.
Doges. But so there's that.
No. The dog is a Shiba Inu, though, right? The dog is a Shiba. No, what is the dog? Not a Corgi. Oh, it's a Corgi, huh?
Yeah.
I can't remember what the dog is.
I can't remember. It's one of those cute ones that's little.
Yeah.
But then we've got this SEC approves.
Hold on. I'm gonna blow your mind right now.
Do it.
I could accept a Doge ETF.
Okay. Well, it has the largest market
simple cap. Because it's like 10 years old.
Yeah.
Doge is the number one meme coin. So I don't like it, but I could accept it.
That's fair. So we have this. The SEC approves options trading on Ethereum ETFs from BlackRock, Grayscale, and Bitwise. This means that institutions will have more ways that they can manipulate the market with paper trading fake things that they don't own. We love that. Yep. We love manipulated markets. Thank you, SEC. You're obviously looking out for the consumer and retail. The SEC has been historically known to protect retail over large financial institutions whose only goal is money.
Right.
Anyways. Screw them, man. Crazy. I think it's such a silly thing. But we liked this also. Watcher Guru, sometimes it's hit or miss with these articles, but I like to look at them, especially when they use AI to tell us what we should pick to invest in. So where to put your IRS check? ChatGPT points out 2, and the actual answer was Solana and ADA. We love ADA. We know ADA is on there. Solana, it makes sense too, but what an interesting choice, right? You have 2 polar opposites. You have the decentralized blockchain of the people, and then you have the centralized blockchain of the institutions that are okay with 70% of their transactions failing. So, they just like to keep clicking that button. Can you imagine? You just send, and 70% of the time, nothing happens. Sheesh. What a experience. Let's see. And then we already talked about Paul Atkins. Thought this was interesting. World Food Program, USA, accepts Bitcoin and Dogecoin donations after the funding cuts. So Doge attacked its funding. It says, you know what? Send us all your Bitcoins. We'll take that Dogecoin too. So this is funny. I like this pivot. I think that is interesting, and we are going to see more acceptance. I mean, I believe that this market crash is also the precursor to mass adoption. Right. I think cheaper prices bring in more people because the risk seems less. But also, as the market is growing, this is kind of like, I don't know how to explain, but it's like the price that people want things at, where they're willing to take that risk. I think the barrier to entry has been lowered such that a lot more people will get in the boat and then see what's going on. So this is interesting. I think that this is an opportunity for our industry to get a lot more legitimized. There's still a lot of use cases that I think are really important, just for saving information, for being able to audit things, data security. We have a lot of use cases that blockchain solves problems and vulnerabilities that the regular way that information is transmitted does not protect us against. If we had cell phones that used blockchain networks where both people have to be kind of like approved, or that it has to be a specific address that is, difficult to find an individual person's address that's abstracted, it would be only trusted known parties, then you would never get a spam call. You know, there's a bunch of different things that this could do that is exciting. Auditing elections, secure elections. This is one of the, I think, most exciting use cases. You don't think that secure elections through blockchain?
No, they would never. They would never secure elections.
Okay. Yes,
crazy.
You're right.
Crazy
You're right.
talk to think about that.
They and the powers that be might not like or do that, but I think for the people, I think that would be a beautiful thing to see. You know, being able to vote from your phone. I think that'd be massive. So that's what I got. I thought this was funny. So this article is titled "Stocks Historic Burst Comes with Worst Case Scenario Off the Table." So the worst case scenario, which was just like all of the reciprocal tariffs and everything, that delay, that announcement, people got excited. Market is up, you know. I guess he's making the deal and the deal's working. So that's what we got going on there. We'll see what's going on. We'll see. I mean, I still say like this is a wait and see type thing. What it's gonna happen if something bad's gonna happen, it's gonna happen slowly and then suddenly. I think if something's good is gonna happen, it's gonna happen eventually. Like I don't think it's gonna happen suddenly or quickly. I think it's gonna be a very long, growing development that we might see in 10 years. I don't think it's going to be any quick.
Basically what John's saying is don't long the top.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. Don't long the top. Yeah, but
never
don't short the
long
bottom
top.
either.
Right, and don't short the dump.
Also, Third Patriot, are you still in that short from yesterday? If so, Godspeed, sir. But there we go. That's what we got. And then so now let's check out what's going on in the market and what the TA says. But before that, if you could help us out with hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe, hopping over to Twitter, reposting the stream, hopping over to YouTube, hitting the like, hitting the subscribe. We appreciate you all. We come to you live Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time to bring you the daily news nightly. And we put a lot of work into it. So hit us with that like button. It is free. We appreciate you all. And
introducing the relaunch of JPEG Boss Mint, a game changer in the NFT world. This isn't just another mint. It's a community-governed project where you hold the power. Here's the deal. 50% of all mint funds fuel a community investment wallet controlled by boss holders like you, driving collective growth. The proceeds, 60%, go straight back to active participants, rewarding your engagement. 20% powers overhead and expansion. And the final 20% flows to JPEG Empire until the seed funding's repaid. Join the revolution, mint with purpose, govern the future, and reap the rewards. So since, gotta add it to the stage. But since ChatGPT had its opinion, I decided to ask Grok. I said, what crypto should I invest my tax refund into? And it says, I can't give you personalized advice, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you said not financial advice, and you said, of course not. Now tell me what to invest in, dang it.
Right. So it said Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and then meme coins. That's all it talks about right here. So, you know what I mean? It says I can't, but here are some commonly discussed, blah, blah, blah. So then I changed it up. I said, what would you put your into if you had to choose? And it said Bitcoin and Solana. Long story short, I'd probably split it 70 Bitcoin for stability, 30 Solana for growth. No meme coins for me. Too much of a gamble, like betting on a viral TikTok. What do you think about that mix? And then, of course, don't share information that can identify you. This is not financial advice. Please consult one. Blah, 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 blah. But I thought that was funny.
We did exactly what it said not to do. So don't do what we do. Don't take us as examples. When you ask those questions to AI, just like disregard it. Be like, this would work for somebody else, but not me. Don't listen to it.
Well, I don't know. Chat GPT and Grok, what's the common denominator? Solana.
Bitcoin.
No, Solana.
Solana, you're right.
As much as it pains me to say that, Solana.
Yeah.
So we are going to look at the Solana chart because I kind of think Solana is at least a 6x from where it's at right now. So, but first thing we're going to do, boom, let's look at the dollar index. Look at the good old Dixie on the daily. We are getting, so this is today, right? No, this is Thursday. So this is the new candle. But we pumped today. So even though China sold a bunch of freaking bonds, and what Third Patriot said that BRICS was trying to dump a bunch of bonds, right? We actually pumped today. We had huge volatility top to bottom, but we actually pumped. And then right now we're having to dump 0.17. So, and we have, you could see, let's see here where we started to go back up March 26th, 7th. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, imagine that. April 2nd, when tariffs went into play, boom. Big dump, big dump. So, but let's look at the market. Let's see what's going on. Let's go to the daily. Beautiful. Just so you guys know, I took Market Cipher off of here. I've come to, so not everybody can afford Market Cipher. So when I'm going through these charts for a wider audience, I'm going to go, all these indicators are free as long as you have a TradingView account. Okay. Now the amount of indicators that you can put on your TradingView account will be determined by what package you have. But these specific indicators that I'll be using are free on TradingView. And that is your moving averages. The white is the 21, the red is the 50, the yellow is the 200. We have our standard RSI with the 14-day median line running through it. And we have our stochastics right here. So, and then of course we got our volume profile over here. And I believe I erased everything. Yeah, I took everything off of there. I had one of the BitBoys high IQ indicators on there. Yeah, BitLab intelligence, all that. So I took all these off so I could give you guys the data that most people have available to them, right? So today, boom, Bitcoin, whopping 8.32% candle today, looking good. Let's look from wick to wick was about 11% in volatility today. I am just going to say it right from the beginning. Like we said earlier, do not long the top. This does not mean we are back. We are not going to all-time high. So get that out of your mind right now. This is just some little fundamental bull trap short squeeze off of what Trump said, in my opinion, so, and as you can see, we're starting to come back a little bit. We didn't even break, we bounced right off, or we hit our head right on the 21 and started coming back down. And you can see we're putting in a red candle right now. And if we look, it's across the board. SWI, big red candle, 15%, ADA, 13%, XRP 14%, and so on. Ondo with a monster, almost 20%. Aptos. So, well, let's go back to Bitcoin. Let's take a look. Let's come down to a smaller time frame. Let's come down to the hour. So I was looking at this earlier, and we are going to correct, in my opinion. So we did break the 200, which is beautiful. We got the nice little pump, which happens when you break the 200. Boom. I mean, we went 2.9% above the 200. And for Bitcoin, that's a big freaking move. We're talking a lot of money. But the problem is we've gapped the 21. RSI is oversold or overbought. Stochastics have been riding high this whole time. So everything on the hour is due for a correction. The stochastics need to reset. The RSI needs to come back down a little bit. It cannot stay overheated for a long time. And especially since we are still in a bear trend, I'm expecting this to have a pretty good correction. If we corrected from here back to the 21, that takes us back to about 79,000 with 3.3% correction. We are probably not going to correct all the way down here. I would imagine, it's the hourly. So we're probably going to see, something like this. And then probably like this.
Let me just say that CryptoFace tweeted a tweet that I think is indicating what trade he might be in. He said, and I quote, "Dump it all back, baby."
Yeah.
I think we're going down.
He's expecting a correction. I should freaking... See, I don't want to show it because... Let's see what Market Cypher is saying. I just said I wasn't going to show this, but...
I do think Market Cypher is cool, and I like you showing Market Cypher because I don't have it. And there's a red dot on com.
Well, Market Cypher is probably the best trading indicator on the market. But like I told you guys yesterday, the day before, I'm not going to be doing that much trading. So I'm not going to be renewing my Market Cypher. I'm not going to spend $600 on a trading indicator that I'm not going to be using. And the project cannot afford to spend $600 so I can have Market Cypher. You know what I mean? So maybe if I start trading again here, I'll pick it up. But as of right now, once this runs out, I'm not going to redo it. We do have the VWAP starting to come up, but money flow, momentum, everything's going down on Market Cypher. Let's just get rid of that. Act like we don't even have it. So let's look at the 4 hour. 4 hour. Yeah, see, look at that. The 4 hour has a huge gap, and we were not able to reclaim the 200. So it is still extremely bearish, even though we have a bullish W pattern, double bottom right there. The Stokes are getting overbought, and we're bouncing our head off of the 200. So, and if we can't break that 200, we're definitely going back down. We weren't able to reclaim this 85,000 SR level. So I think CryptoFace is probably correct. Dump it back down, dump it hard. Discount code, John Carter for discount on. Oh, you got a discount code. You're muted or something. You're muted. I cannot hear you, sir.
That's when I was tapping.
There we go.
It's the tap. You got to give this microphone a little tap on the head so it wakes up. Yeah, they gave it to me a couple days ago. So everybody out there, if you don't have a hardware wallet, I love Keystone. I'm a Keystone ambassador. I highly recommend it because I switched to Keystone when Ledger had its security issue with the recovery password. And so Keystone wallet, they have all kinds of really awesome things about it. Look into it. But if you're going to get one, you can use John Carter and get a 5% discount, I believe.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. 5% discount. So, if you need a hardware wallet, might as well get one with a discount. So
that's right.
Yeah.
All right.
If you want to pay full price, by all means, go for it. But
so back to the market. Let's go down a little bit. 15-minute. So the 15-minute, we have lost the moving average on the RSI, and it looks like we're bouncing off the 50. which would be the bearish territory. So we need to stay above that 50. The Stokes have reset and they're kind of flat. They started to come out and started to flatten out again a little bit. We fell back through the 21, a little bit of a rounding top. So I would be real nervous trading anything right now. And it looks like everything is coming back down. SWI on the 15-minute looks exactly like Bitcoin, except for the RSI has lost the 50 back into the bearish territory. It tried to make a little pump. It couldn't, got rejected from the 50. It's coming back down. Stokes are coming back down. We could see it ride out here for a little bit. The big thing is, though, that SWI is losing this SR level. And there's a huge volume gap right here. So if we bring up the past couple days, you see this huge volume gap. So it would not surprise me to wake up to at least a $2.08 SWI. I could definitely see that happening. It might not, Japan might decide to start buying a bunch. I don't think China's going to, not if their market's crashing, but it very well could. Let's look at Cardano. Let's go to the daily, see if let's work our way down. So on the daily, we do have the Stokes on the daily have been reset and are pointed up. The RSI is cutting back down and is still below the 50. So it's still in that bear territory. Even though we had that massive pump, the strength index was not able to get back into the positive up here above the 50, right? We did get back above the 59-cent support level. I could see us coming back to 72, but I could also see us coming and retesting this 59-cent. Let's look at the 4-hour. So the 4-hour, we got back above the 50. And we are retesting the 50 right now. The problem is we have this huge gap. So we've gapped the 21 by like 7%. Your Stokes are oversold or overbought. RSI is starting to cut back down. So everything is just kind of telling me that we're about to get a decent retracement. Maybe not tonight. It may not happen suddenly. It may bleed over the next day or two, but we're going to get a retracement or at least some sideways action until these moving averages can catch up, till the oscillators can reset. And if we go down the line, it's probably the same thing. Yeah. So even though XRP had a huge pump, we broke through the 189 SR level. We hit our head at 204 and can't seem to get above it. We are above the 50, but same thing. Stokes are overbought. RSI's turned down. And this is on the 4-hour. We come down to the 1-hour. We are retesting the 200 with the 21 coming up. Stokes are pointed down. RSI is at a support level on the 14 moving average. I bet if we look at ADA, yeah, same thing. ADA just lost the 200 on the 1-hour. So I think if I was trading, I'd be looking for shorts, plain and simple. I would be looking to short this at least back to the 59, have a tight stop loss on the other side of the 200. And if you get stopped out, you get stopped out. But because we pumped so hard, so fast, and because we're still in an overall bear trend, it makes no sense to try and long right now. First of all, you're longing essentially the top of the move. You're up here. You're trying to long the move that's already been made. Kind of like yesterday, how I said, don't be opening shorts because the move has already been made. You don't make a move after, or you don't get in after the move has been made. So that's basically it. Ondo looks pretty good, but we still got that huge gap. So we got the 21 crossing, which is a bullish sign, but we still got a huge gap. We still got Stokes pointed down. RSI is definitely overbought, in the extreme overbought. You can see the little green area right there. We're above the 80. So I still kind of expect that to come down. We could see something like this on Ondo. You know, we could see it flag out as the 21 makes its move, and then just watch kind of Ondo bounce in here. But it's definitely going to come back to the 21. Honestly, if I was watching Ondo, that's exactly what I would be watching. I would be watching this flag, put some alarms top and bottom, wait till we get a touch of the 21, and then if we break the top, we're probably going back to, I wouldn't say $1.08, but probably to the psychological level of $1. Take it from the move. $1.03 takes us to $1.03. This, I don't think is going to happen, but this is some hopium for you. If this flag continues out, we stay above the 200, you know, over the next couple hours. You know, next couple hours, we see this kind of boom, reset, right? We see the 21 come up. So maybe 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, Pacific time, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, kind of be looking for that to play out. Or it's just going to dump right to the 21. You know, it could go up. It could go down. I don't know, but it's exactly as I predicted. You know,
100%.
So those are the type of things that I would be looking at. And like I said, I wouldn't be opening along right now. Scalps are one thing. There's definitely some scalps to be had playing them smaller time frames. And it's the same concept. You guys know this. You guys have heard me say it 1,000 times. Price action moving across the 200. Boom. Open your long. Put your stop loss right below it. You get wicked out. Look for another entry. You know, retest of the 21 as the 21 crosses also. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I got.
Well, that's what we got. It is Wednesday. If you guys come by the Forest Drive Annapolis Starbucks tomorrow, anytime after 5 in the morning, I'll be there with a smile on my face to hand you whatever coffee with however millions of modifications that you ask for. With a smile. So
with a smile.
All
jacked up on espresso.
Oh, dude, actually, yes. I literally am usually about 7 espressos deep, and then the people come through, and they're like, wow, you're in such a good mood. Like, how could I not? I'm radiating. You know, this one lady the other day was just like, you have such a pleasant voice. You sound like you really love your job. I was like, I really love my job because my job is most of the time not making the coffee, and it's literally like handing the coffee that somebody else made to the person. And that's the best because then the person is excited. I'm the guy that gets the thank yous. Nobody else gets, you know what I mean? I get the thank yous. Oh, we appreciate you so much. Great. I didn't make it. Enjoy. And then they're like, this isn't made right. And I'm like, oh, I didn't make it. I'll fix it. I'll have them fix it. I'll tell them to fix it.
I mean,
really, it's no problem.
It helps. Any job helps when you're high AF on caffeine also.
It's true.
So
it helps. But thank you guys for joining us. We come to you live, bringing you the daily news nightly, every Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. We appreciate you guys, and we will see you tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's Thursday. I also believe, well, actually, I just need to cement it. But on Friday, we will be having Promo Facey join us to tell us about all of the new things that the Promo Facey engine can do, which we're excited about because it's awesome. It's awesome. What else can I say?
Right.
Nothing. But all right, we will see you guys tomorrow night on the next one. Peace.
Introducing the relaunch of JPEG Boss Mint, a game changer in the NFT world. This isn't just another mint. It's a community-governed project where you hold the power. Here's the deal. 50% of all mint funds fuel a community investment wallet controlled by boss holders like you, driving collective growth, The proceeds, 60%, go straight back to active participants, rewarding your engagement. 20% powers overhead and expansion. And the final 20% flows to JPEG Empire until the seed funding's repaid. Join the revolution, mint with purpose, govern the future, and reap the rewards.